Hello, I'm Kat Curry-Williams.
And I'm Robin Radin.
And this is Wine, Women, and Chocolate Podcast.
And today we are joined by Gail Ash, the owner of Revival Confections. And Gail, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Catherine and Robin, for having me. I'm so excited.
We are a long time. I know Gail through her chocolate, only because I've eaten it. Didn't really get to know much about her, except she makes really good chocolate. So
we're going to learn all about your chocolate because we were talking earlier, and you're just shy of 25 years in the Revival Confections, correct?
Yes, correct.
And the name, I believe, is because this was something that you revived from your childhood.
Yes, it was. During my childhood, Raisinets, as they are called, when they're tiny, 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 were my favorite childhood treats, and I would covet them. I'd hide them from my father because he was a chocoholic. And so as time went on, and I was formerly a cone owner, of a former business, I decided I wanted to go out and start my own business. And the jumbo chocolate raisins were just sung to me. And
what other business were you in that you went from that to jumbo chocolate raisins? So you glossed over something there.
Yes, that's true. Actually, I was 4 years as president of our temple in the Hollywood area.
Oh.
And I was co-owner of a fabric store in Los Angeles. And then as I went through all of that progress in my own growth, I decided to open up Revival Confections.
So not even having anything to do with chocolate or confections of any kind?
Not at all. A dear friend was involved with it, not in terms of wholesale or retail, but his family was involved with raisins and such in the Central Valley, and I approached him and we talked about it. He's not involved in my business, but he helped me get going on it. Candy and baking are just passionate for me. So
I do love that so much. I love that we call this Wine, Women, and Chocolate, and we actually have friends that are passionate in the chocolate making. I'm going to just start with showing as you do this so I can eat while you're talking. These are the...
This is big.
Yeah,
they're jumbo.
They are jumbo. You can't find these anywhere.
No, they are jumbo Thompson seedless raisin. The raisin is grown the grape, I should say, is grown in Central California and then dried. All my products are California-based, California-grown, California-produced.
And you ship everywhere.
And I ship everywhere. And so people, order the candies for their own self-enjoyment, for gift-giving. I do wholesale for business gifts. So throughout the year, people have various wants and needs with my candy.
You can't go back. That's the problem. I did buy some for gifts and for myself. And I held back. I did the family held back for myself, actually, because they were so good. I don't know. I mean, you can, if you're just listening to this podcast, you must run and order these because if you're looking at them, look at how giant they are. And the chocolate is delicious. So what about the chocolate around them?
It's secret formula. I have somebody that, with the raisins, they have to be panned. In other words, there's a special machine that coats the raisins, and I produce or have them produce a large quantity. So that's something I need to engage a panner who is also located in Central California to produce that. And so it's their formula, the chocolate, of the highest quality.
It is it melts in your mouth. It's not waxy. It's so soft in there. Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
So when you were starting out, how did it all sort of come together? I mean, you have to, I'm sure, go through many variations of finding the perfect chocolate and, getting financed as a woman. I'm sure there were a lot of pieces to the story.
True. It's a challenge. Business, especially the candy business, is a real challenge. So I had my contact in the Central Valley in terms of the raisins, and that person was able to contact the producer for my candy. We had to go through various suppliers because of businesses closing down or other situations until we finally found the panner that I was really happy with. And so, it took a long time. There was a process in terms of developing my packaging and going out, knocking on doors for wholesale customers, getting my website up and running. And so it was a challenge. It's taken a long time, and there's been, as many businesses, have experience with the pandemic, supply chain issues.
Right.
And so I've even experienced that with the raisins.
Oh, wow.
And so it's been hard to find the jumbo chocolate-covered raisins because of the drought and supply chain issues and that type of thing. So it's a challenge. And so, it's a challenge. It takes a long time, go through various variations, and I finally came upon the packaging and my website that I'm very happy about. Also challenges, a lot of my wholesale customers that I did a lot of business with the pandemic shut down. And also challenges buyers at the various wholesale companies change, and then I have to start all over again.
Oh, wow.
And
Thank God it's a passion project, because passion keeps you going.
It does. And it's hard because buyers think about their own personal, a lot of times I should say, think about their own personal tastes and interests versus looking at what their population or their customers like. And so that's a challenge to get them to get past. Maybe they're not a fan of raisins or the apricots or what have you, but to get them to understand their customers like that product. And so it is a challenge.
Yes, and you mentioned apricots. That's the other thing that we're going to taste. And they're like gold. Literally, I'm going to give you one, Robin, here.
Thank you.
I hand these out when, I purchase them to, like gold. Like, I don't just put them where, because sometimes people want to put them out in the candy bowl. Oh, I'll take a few from my pocket. I'm like, but the chocolate, do they come dark and light? Well, these are dark, and that's
these
my
are
preference.
Dark, yes. That's where I evolved also, is initially I did milk chocolate. And then, because I felt that milk chocolate worked better with the raisins, and then I realized that dark chocolate has a deeper, more complex taste. And I also realized that it works really well with chocolate, with the raisins, and it works really well, especially with the apricots. And so I've transitioned to all my products are with dark chocolate. And I wanted to mention that especially the chocolate-covered raisins are a great pairing with red wine.
Wow.
And for baking.
From grapes.
And for baking. Bake your oatmeal cookie can put the chocolate-covered raisins in as the thing to
That's a giant.
so there's a lot of creativity that can be used.
And they're beautiful on a cheese platter. So we have to do this for our New York She Angels event and put these out. Maybe we can get these like this, and I've put this with the gold wrapper, so then people don't touch it. I love the apricots come in the gold wrapper,
right.
So if you want,
like this is our small individual bag. We also have a larger bag too.
But then you lay them out with. They look special. I put them out on a cheese platter, cheese board, and so on.
Are these the only two items that you have, or do you have lots?
I have a chocolate toffee almond. I do a spicy peanut brittle.
Yum!
I haven't tried that.
Yeah, they're good, and that I do myself. I do the brittle myself. So
and now, how do you do it? Do you go into like your own? I don't know even
kitchen,
what you call it.
Yes.
Like it's like
apparently
not
Robin doesn't
kitchen
know
in your.
how to cook.
I don't. But not
it's called a kitchen,
not your home kitchen.
Right. There's places that one could rent.
Like is it like it's not a factory kitchen?
No. They have individual kitchens that for business purposes.
Okay.
that you can
Baking
rent.
kitchens.
You know, my candy also comes in gift boxes of various sizes and price point levels.
Pretty gift boxes too.
Oh,
You have
thank
to
You
look online.
specifically go into the kitchen and make
Yes,
the peanut brittle?
I make it myself.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I do that myself. So, that's my product line. You know,
Oh, spicy peanut brittle.
That sounds really
Someone's
good.
got to come back on her.
In another episode.
I'll order it for one of our events because we have Wine, Women, and Chocolate, of course, podcast, but we
Right.
also have Robin and I are part of She Angels Foundation,
Right,
and then we do events that we do salons, and we have celebrities singing just for fun. We don't raise money there, but we just raise fun and awareness, and
Right.
so we always like to make it special because people are very interested in where we get things and do things.
Sure, yeah, that's a great organization. Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, our very dear friend Deborah Brooks,
Yeah, I know
baked
her very well.
scones
Yeah.
for our. She's the one who made the
Right.
the vegan scones
Right.
for our last event.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah, she's
Yep,
very
she's a good-
talented.
Okay,
Vegan cook.
so you have the jumbo chocolate covered raisins, you have the chocolate covered apricots, you have the spicy peanut brittle.
Yes.
You'd mentioned another one in there.
Toffee.
Chocolate toffee almonds.
Chocolate toffee almonds.
So it's a
Wow.
California almond that's coated in toffee and then panned in chocolate.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
And that's not a nougat.
And it's not a new
No, it's not a nougat. But our most popular actually is the raisins and the apricots.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they go really well. This is an espresso, double espresso, and it really goes well with chocolate if you're not a wine drinker.
True.
Don't.
With
I'm not
coffee?
gonna-
You have chocolate on your mind, and I don't blame you.
Yeah, if you have chocolate on your mind any time of day, you can also have a decaf coffee. It goes really
Yes.
nicely. It pairs really nicely with
Right.
that. You know, sometimes I look for other things other than wine because I might want to have that for breakfast.
Well, any time of the day. There you go.
So you have to find different liquids to pair it with.
Yeah, and people have their favorites. You know, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Business gifts tend to send the raisins. I have a 2-pound bag of raisins, so they tend to send that. But also, some of my business customers send gift boxes. You know, as a thank you for the year end of doing business with them, or sending a client, or what have it, as a thank you. So.
And it's so unique because of what it is. Usually, typically, you get chocolates. I love them all from many different companies. We already have established that over many, many weeks here. But these do stand out uniquely. So I think that was, you got specific rather than going into so many different areas. You got specific, which I love. What is the website again?
Revivalconfections.com.
Okay.
And is there a storefront, or are you just
No, I'm
online?
online. As I said, I also do wholesale. People call me up and just order on the phone.
That's how I got started. Be careful with that. Oh, I need chocolate desperately.
But it's fun because then I get to know my customer on the phone. And if you live in Los Angeles and come to my home, which I'm based, I have free pickup and delivery.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's
That's
something
right. You
new
delivered
that,
to my house. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing,
I
though.
try to be flexible and help people out, especially during this time, you
Right.
know, when things are challenging.
Yes.
You know.
But chocolate, I have found during the pandemic, I know wine and chocolate almost across the board as individuals, not companies, because as you said, it's challenged there. People have been eating more and respecting, like, okay, we're not going to have, Bart's candy anymore. This is a pandemic, this is life, we're going for the good stuff.
Right.
Did you experience any of a boon in it like the wine business did? Because the wine business went crazy
Right.
in sales.
I wish that were the case.
But there's too
But
many
I
offices.
had a challenge with my supply chain, and so that put me at a disadvantage for a little bit. And shipping is expensive,
Right.
unfortunately. And so I try to find the least expensive way to get it to New York or, anywhere else in the United States.
And during the summer months, is that like, I know when it comes to See's candy, they don't ship during the summer months.
It's a real challenge.
Yeah.
And so it's either for people who live in the Los Angeles area or my wholesale customers.
For the summertime. So if you're listening to this East Coast, order it now because you want it to come.
And I would not refrigerate it because what happens is the change from the real cold in your refrigerator to the outside temperature, it'll bloom, which means the fat comes to the surface, it becomes whitish, grayish. It doesn't change the flavor, it just changes the look on it. So we encourage people not to refrigerate it, but keep it in a cool place in your home.
What is the shelf life, as we can say?
It lasts. It just...
Those raisins are so fresh. Don't you hate when you get raisins and they're like, what is that? It sounds like a bag of marbles.
I've kind of as an experiment just kind of kept some, and they've lasted for like over a year, but I wouldn't encourage that. But it still tastes just as delicious.
You must have hidden them from somebody because nothing lasts that is this good for a year. But
the chocolate that's around it, though, is just so. It's really. I mean, you can taste how. Just like fresh it is, and how it just doesn't taste like candy chocolate.
Right. And that's what we worked for.
Well, that's very good observation because the difference is when I eat this and you're having an apricot, which is so good for you, it really feels like, I remember when I was pregnant, I would do almonds, raisins, apricots with the chocolate around it because it gave you the whole sensation. And I was like, well, this is healthy food for you.
No,
and it actually, as we've learned over the years about dark chocolate, it really is, a quality chocolate, and it is good for you to eat, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's even on keto diets and things.
When you're eating a more, I should say like a less processed.
Right, it has a lot of iron in it also.
It's delicious.
Raisins,
there you go.
Yeah.
I'll have that whole bag before I...
And I just want to add that the apricots are California apricot. They're not glazed at all. A lot of times when you get the Turkish apricots that are grown in the Mediterranean area and Turkey and such, a lot of times they're glazed. And so...
And what does glazed mean?
That means there's like a sugar coating, a liquid kind of, so it's kind of sticky and it has that extra... So it takes away from the pureness of the apricot. And this is a California apricot and it's just dried.
Yeah.
It's not glazed at all.
Oh, that's fantastic to know. Yeah. Well, as we start having to wrap up on our fabulous episode, Robin, do you want to ask the first question? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
But the first...
Cat's quickies. They're little questions, but do you have something else to add?
No, the first question, though, is kind of funny because it's about chocolate.
Yeah, okay. That's true. All right, well, this will stump you.
Do you prefer dark milk or white?
Dark, hands down.
Has that always been?
Yes.
Okay.
And
always.
Is it because of the richness of it that you were talking about earlier?
I believe so, but also the milk, there's something about it that it takes away from that real pure chocolate taste. As a matter of fact, I had a little piece of chocolate on my way here. And dark, like 85%. So I go for it,
Yeah, well, it really is good for you. When you read the statistics about it, it's like, how could I not have this?
Of course.
And, okay, the next question, a quickie here, is white, red, or rosé?
Red. No question about it. I love red wine.
Are you red as a Cab, as a Pinot, as a Syrah, as a Pinot? So okay, a Pinot
used to
be
Cab and changed to Pinot.
You know what? For me too, I lightened up a little bit. So
I really enjoy that.
Well, that's of course it works perfect today.
And it does. It's a great pairing.
Yeah, we should be drinking some of that now, but we were trying to keep a clear palate just for the chocolate today.
Well, thank you.
And Robin, our big question.
Our big question is, if there's one woman that you could shout out today, besides, your own mother, because otherwise we would all say, our mom, that has helped to make you the person that you are today. Who would you like to toast?
My grandmother on my mother's side. She's the one that got me really interested in baking.
Oh, and what's her name?
Frida. She passed away a very long time ago.
Well, here's to Frida.
Frida,
thank you so much.
Thank you for watching and listening, and we look forward to you liking and subscribing to Wine, Women, and Chocolate podcast on YouTube, and we'll see you soon.
1016 Entertainment.